This activity relates to histograms. The objective of this activity is to draw the histograms for classes of equal width and varying width. Let's study the concept of histogram first using this graph which is shown here. As you can see, this graph relates to the item price and the frequency. So the items having prices between 1 to 10 are 20 in number as shown in the y-axis here. Then 11 to 20 are little bit above 20. It is 21 in this case. And likewise, it is 13 here and then 8 here and then 4 here. So when you plot the first variable on the x-axis and then draw rectangles, and the height of the rectangles denote the second variable or the frequency, then this graph is known as a histogram. You can see 1 to 10 has a width of 10, 11 to 20 is again 10, and then 21 to 30 is again 10. Everywhere the interval is same. This is called equal width intervals. But even if the graph has to be drawn for unequal width, like the first one is 0 to 10, the second one is 10 to 30, the intervals have different width. We can draw histograms for that also. And that is the intention of this activity. For performing this activity, the material required are, we require white drawing sheet, graph papers, geometry box, scissors for cutting, sketch pens, and glue for pasting work. Let's perform this activity of histograms now.
So in this activity, we have two different graphs which are to be drawn. In the first graph, you can see this is a graph in which the class intervals are of equal width. On the x-axis, you can see some of the intervals represented by A to B, B to C, C to D, D to E, E to F, and F to G. All these class intervals have equal width, and therefore 1 centimeter denotes one such class interval. The frequencies of individual class intervals may vary, and for A to B it is F1 denoted by 60 here in the graph. For B to C it is F2 denoted by 20 on the graph, and likewise C to D, D to E, E to F, and F to G are also plotted. So all the rectangles which you obtain here they have equal width, although the heights will vary according to the frequency of each class interval. So this is equal width class intervals. Now when you have the graph in which we have varying width, for example, you can see the interval E to G here. This particular interval is of double width as compared to other class intervals like A to B, B to C, C to D, and D to E. And therefore, the histogram which is drawn here, the width of the last rectangle is double the width of the other rectangles. The heights are according to the frequencies which are given to us. The revised frequency f dash in such case is given by half of f5. That's because the width of that class interval is double. So the frequency becomes half. This is the only thing we have to remember there. But in the graph, we will draw a histogram in which the rectangle will have double width as compared to the other class intervals. And this is how you represent equal width and varying width graphs, and that completes our activity.